Welcome back to the Health Bridge podcast, where we help women with autoimmune disease reduce flares, rebuild their energy, and reconnect to the deeper wisdom of their bodies so that they can stop canceling their plans and finally trust themselves again to show up fully for their lives. I'm Holly B. I'm a holistic health coach and autoimmune thriver, and someone who knows firsthand what it feels like to live in constant bracing, constantly calculating the cost of every decision and wondering if your body is about to betray you again. Today's episode really gets personal. Even though I've been in medically confirmed remission from discoid lupus for 2 years now, with no signs of systemic inflammation, there was a time when I didn't trust my body at all. And what I realized is that it's not just the symptoms that are the hard part. It's the loss of spontaneity. It's the fear of the effects of my choices. It is the identity of being someone who is sick. And if you have ever wondered, will I ever feel safe in my body again? Or is this just who I am now? Or why does it feel like healing is so far out of reach for me? You are not alone. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what I got wrong in my early healing journey, and we'll go over the 3 foundational shifts that helped me move from constantly bracing and feeling burnt out to trust and resilience. So stick around because we'll be answering the question, what does healing actually look like beyond the Instagram highlight reel? Let's dive in. So to be honest, you guys, as I just stated, even though I have been in medically confirmed remission from discoid lupus for 2 years with no signs of systemic inflammation, and most recently, I have had my best lab results ever. There was a very long period of time where I didn't trust my body at all. And if you're listening right now and you feel like your body is unpredictable, I want you to know that I really, really understand that feeling. I'm going to give you an example. So I remember my best friend's 40th birthday several years ago. I flew home. I was so excited to be just hanging out, having a great time, going out, dancing. My sister came and joined us. I decided that for that one night, I was going to put all my worries aside and just not calculate the consequences of that night's decisions. I was just going to enjoy myself and have fun, and it was going to be fine. I went into it with so much hope and just honestly knowing I knew in my body it was just going to be fine. It was just going to be fine, right? We're going to go have fun. The fun and the positive benefits were going to totally override the potential consequences. And I was just so sure that that was going to happen. And we danced. We had a great time. We went out. It was so much fun. And I woke up feeling like I was hit by a bus. And I basically felt hungover weeks, for weeks, just full fatigue, full, just like a weight on top of my body, holding me back, holding me down, barely having enough energy to get through work. And this went on for 2 months. It took me 2 months to get through the worst of it because of one night that I just wanted to feel normal and have fun. And that's when I really realized that it's not just the symptoms that are hard, right? It's also the bracing, right? It's the lead up. It's the constant mental math, or shall we call it autoimmune math, where you're always trying to calculate, okay, how many spoons do I have? What can I afford? What energy can I afford to spend? If I do well, but I push myself to stay out just an extra 30 minutes or an hour, what consequences will that have? What food is going to be available to me? Is it safe if I eat this or if I eat that? Is that going to help me make it through or is it going to turn into more consequences? It's that constant autoimmune math that leads to that bracing, right? And it's the loss of spontaneity because you always have to do all these calculations. It's the fear that every single experience that you go for has a price tag and you're not sure if you can afford that price tag. And it's that identity shift from being somebody who is spontaneous or can go out and have fun to someone who is sick. And there have been so many points, but especially at that point, I really was thinking, maybe I'll never get better. Maybe I will never get better than this. But here's what I got wrong back then.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and interrupt the program for just a hot minute. You know that I'm so passionate about this podcast, but what I'm also really passionate about is helping women with lupus minimize their symptoms, boost their energy so that they can indulge in life again. So if you are a woman who is struggling with lupus, who is sick and tired of being sick and tired, who's struggling to manage your flares, if you're finding that your lupus symptoms are just really getting in the way of you being able to live your life the way you want to, I feel you. I've been there myself and I felt the same way. And what I've found is that there are a certain set of health fundamentals that once applied, will support you in your foundational health. They will support you in building and maintaining that energy, minimizing flares, and allowing you to, again, indulge in life and follow your passions. So, if that is something that you are interested in creating for yourself, let's jump on a call together. I will walk you through the process that I use with my clients to get them from sick and tired to strong foundation of health by implementing my Health Bridge protocol. If this is something you're interested in chatting more about, I would love to talk to you. Apply for a free clarity call with me, and I look forward to getting to know you soon. And now back to the episode.
For years, as I was trying to learn how to heal myself, I was constantly focused on trying to control my symptoms instead of regulating my nervous system and my body systems. I was also chasing relief instead of building resilience. Very big difference there. And I was reinforcing the identity of illness, of being someone who is sick without even being aware that I was doing it. I started studying under a spiritual mentor. At one point, he said, "You don't have to believe everything you think." And that line just stopped me in my tracks and cracked something open inside of me. That was a huge turning point for the way I approached my health experience. And I started studying neuroplasticity. I started understanding that thoughts, our thoughts are often stuck on a loop, right? And they constantly reinforce themselves and reinforce themselves and reinforce themselves until we don't even realize that we're even having these thoughts consciously. And these thoughts can create stress physiology in the body. And when you are constantly bracing and calculating, doing that autoimmune math, it keeps the nervous system feeling threatened. And that leads to keeping your nervous system in fight or flight. And that dysregulated nervous system when it can't easily shift back into the rest and digest and repair mode. That dysregulated nervous system just fuels the inflammation and the dysregulation in all of your body systems. So, as I learned more about this and as I constantly reminded myself of that quote that you don't have to believe everything you think, it opened up the possibility that I could shift the way I think and the words that I use uh, in order to stop identifying as someone who's sick. And so slowly, as I implemented these things, I stopped owning the illness as my identity. I stopped owning being a sick person as my identity. I did this by shifting my language and the words that I used. So instead of saying my chronic fatigue or, my lupus, I shifted it to I'm experiencing chronic fatigue right now, or I'm experiencing lupus. I slowly learned tools to regulate my nervous system. Shifting that language is part of that. I started focusing on very foundational self care, things like what water am I drinking? What food am I choosing to eat? What time am I waking up and going to bed? Very simple things. How much sunlight am I getting? And I also stopped fighting my body and started listening to it. I started listening to the symptoms rather than fighting them. And very slowly, my labs started improving. My flares decreased and my energy began to stabilize. And again, this is not something that happened overnight, but it was slow, gradual improvement. And the day that my rheumatologist told me that there was no indication of systemic inflammation anymore, that was the moment that I knew for sure that my body wasn't broken. So I want to leave you with 3 really practical takeaways for anybody who relates to this struggle, who needs some easy guidance and practical steps that they can start making these slow shifts towards healing.
Really quick, Holly B here. I just wanted to interrupt the podcast to ask you for a quick favor. Can you take just a moment to like and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you are listening in on? It makes a world of a difference. And the reach of this podcast, it takes like literally under 10 seconds. So go do that right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now back to the episode.
The first step is to regulate before you optimize. I wish I would have understood this back years ago when my journey started. So, the basics, like I was just talking about, you want to regulate your sleep patterns, your wake patterns. You want to regulate and be intentional about your natural light exposure. You want to learn tools to calm your nervous system. And you want to do something simple daily, like a 5-minute breath work practice or a 5-minute prayer or meditation practice. And the second step is to stop rehearsing all of the worst case scenarios. I know that's really hard when you might literally be in a life or death situation potentially. However, it's vital that we catch those catastrophic thoughts as they're happening, because those are the kind of thoughts that get on that repeat loop. And I'm not saying that we don't have any reason to be worried. I'm not saying that we don't have any reason to be careful about our choices. But if we let those catastrophic thoughts run rampant, they will take over and they will increase that inflammation feedback. They will increase the fight or flight mode in your nervous system, and it will be harder and harder for your body to get into that rest and repair mode, which is where healing happens. So replacing thoughts like my body is failing me to my body is doing everything it can to communicate with me, and I'm learning how to listen. And then step number 3 is to protect your energy like it's medicine. Okay. This has been probably the hardest thing for me and is still something that I continue to work at and slowly get better at. But for autoimmune warriors, especially women, it's really hard to have boundaries. We're taught not to. Society teaches us not to. Society teaches us that we are the helpers, the supporters, and we need to be there for everyone. And like it or not, when you end up accumulating an autoimmune disease and symptomology, it is again vital that we create boundaries to protect our energy, physical, mental, and spiritual. So, creating boundaries against things that drain you and not feeling the need to explain yourself. I understand again that that can be difficult if you're someone who has ended up in the pattern of allowing people to always come to you for help when anything is wrong, whether that's at home, at work, within family structure. But you don't have to explain why you can't do something anymore. Even if you did it just yesterday or last week, that does not mean you have to say yes again and overextend yourself. You can say no. And as a friend of mine reminded me yesterday, no is a complete sentence and nobody needs an explanation. So, with this podcast, with the work that I do, coaching women with autoimmune, I don't just help women reduce their flares. It's really about helping them rebuild trust within their bodies. And in the next episode, I want to talk about something that I didn't understand back then, and that is the grief that comes with chronic illness. Because I think that unprocessed grief truly keeps so many women stuck in their symptoms. If today's episode resonated with you, if you feel seen in the bracing, in the grief, in the fear of unpredictability, I want you to know something. Your body is not broken. I'm gonna just keep shouting that from the rooftops. It is just communicating with you. And healing isn't about becoming who you were before diagnosis. It's about becoming someone who trusts herself deeply, somebody who understands her own body and honors her energy and protects her peace at all costs. So if you are ready to move from managing symptoms to truly rebuilding trust and resilience, I invite you to apply for a free healing breakthrough call with me. We'll look at what has kept you stuck and where your system may be dysregulated and what your right next step might be. So you can find the link to that in the show notes. Next week, we're going to be diving even deeper into that grief that no one talks about with chronic illness and how unprocessed emotions might be actually fueling more inflammation than you realize. Until then, be gentle with your body. It's on your side. And I will see you next time on the Health Bridge podcast.